middle school science teacher, and spent a lot of time around her and a lot of time grading papers. And so I get that. Both my parents were teachers, so a lot of papers. But I always had an interest in science, and somewhat of an interest in health and disease. And when I was in high school, I had a very close uncle that became ill, and he had a brain tumor, and I watched him over a year, get sicker and sicker, and ultimately passed away. And that kind of sparked an interest in me to help me I wanted to understand a little bit more about disease and what kept people healthy and what kept home families and communities healthy. And so why kids? So I'm a family physician, and so I care for both adults and children, but in my particular role here at Parkland, the focus is on adolescents. And so I really like working with adolescents because while they're still considered children, that thinking has developed, and they're able to process some of the decisions that they're making, the choices that they have, and some of the decisions and how they impact on their life. And adolescents are at a point in their lives where they can go either way. Right. Many times the decisions that they make can drive them on a path that can ultimately limit their choices in life, or they can take off. And I want to be that impetus in their life, that person in their life that says something to them that directs them on the right path, and also is able to help them understand their bodies and their health, because I think there's a lot of secrecy around your body, and people are embarrassed and ashamed, and I want kids to have the tools that they need to help to understand their body, help them understand their bodies and make good choices. To not be afraid, to not rely upon the information of their friends or someone else that doesn't have any medical background, to give them the tools that they need so they can make decisions to keep themselves safe.
Children are a lot harder, because I think as a teacher, like teachers say they rather teach high schoolers because the thinking process, there's not so much babying to do. As with children, so would you say the same?
It can be difficult sometimes to work with teenagers, because when a teen has decided that they feel a certain way about something, there's not a whole lot you can do to change their mind. But that relationship that you have with them is so different than with a little kid. Like, I can have a dialogue with a teen about something, and they can school me on the latest music so I look cool in front of my kids, I can talk to them about and be real with them about their health risks, and a lot of kids get it. A lot of kids get it, and I am not that old that I have forgotten what it feels like to be a teen, and how it truly is. Sometimes it's the pain that kids feel being different, or feeling like they don't fit in, or being afraid and not have anybody to go to. So I feel like I can relate to them a little bit. I can relate, and I understand what it feels like not being sure about things and not feeling like you're good enough. And I think that if we help arm them with information, and they feel like they can trust us, that we really can help them to make some good choices in their lives, and be the best person. That everybody's not going to be a neurosurgeon, but we want to give the tools to kids to be the best person that they can be. I hope that answers
it did. And the last question would be, what was one thing that kept you motivated? I think what drove you to continue when you were down during your residency, or when you were getting to medical school, or even your undergrad? What?
Yeah. Like I said to you before, I was not perfect. I didn't have a 4.0. I certainly was a good student, and there were times that I thought, maybe I shouldn't bother, I shouldn't apply. But I felt like I had a mission in life and a destiny, and I myself and think about the long-term goal even when things got a little bit difficult. I tried to do things along the way that gave me a little sense. I would volunteer in hospitals, so even though I wasn't truly having a medical experience, I was there in the community and I could see what it was like, what the doctors were doing, what the nurses were doing. So I tried to stay connected with the experience along the line. But just, talking to people that believe in you. Right. It got rough a couple of times. My mom was always there. She always encouraged me. She helped support me financially, emotionally, she and my dad. Right. And you have to have people like that in your corner.